Hello, friends. You'll have to pardon the mom face. I'm getting ready to clean up my kitchen, and we've been home all day because it's been really crappy outside. It was pouring down raining this morning. It was so funny because I told Chris, I was in the shower, and I was like, babe, did you take the trash out? And it was already like 9 o'clock, I think, and he goes, no. And it's weird because there's different trash companies around here. There's like 3 that I know of. There's like one from the city, I think, and then there's 2 other, they're like privately owned ones. So there's different colored trash cans outside, and he was going outside and he comes back in and he's like, I just missed it. And I was like, oh, I was so mad because I had just thrown away a bunch of old makeup and I had done a whole bunch of cleaning, and I was like, oh my God. And then I thought about it. I was like, what color was the trash can they took? And he goes, well, it was blue. And I was like, what kind of blue? He's like, well, it was like a turquoise. And I was like, that wasn't ours. So I was able to run outside in the rain and drag the trash can to the front, and they took the trash out. But anyways, that's not why we're here. I thought that was a really funny story. I'm gonna show y'all how I plan out my meals for the week. Typically, well, before I was very strict on my diet. I was on a bodybuilding diet. I basically only ate a carb, a veggie, and a protein, and that was it. But now that Jace has gotten older, I'm trying to make sure that I'm more inclusive about him eating with us. So I try to just maintain my portion control. So he eats at the table with us and we all eat the same thing because that's how I grew up. I grew up with us eating at the table and stuff like that. So I have my handy dandy planner here, and I'm going to show y'all how I plan out my meals. So I'm going to voice over the rest of this. Thank you so much for the continued love and support, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Alrighty, so I first like to start by looking through my Pinterest to see if there are any recipes that I may have forgotten about or anything that I might want to try, something new for the week to see if Jace likes it. Pinterest is always a great place to go if you are kind of stuck on recipes. It's also a really good place to go if you are looking for just like a generic grocery shopping list, especially if you're kind of balling on a budget. Pinterest does have a lot of different grocery lists that are shared on there in case you are in a bind and you need some cheap grocery shopping. I know I've been there before. I know we have all been there before. So this is a little overview of my planner. I got this from Walmart, and the inserts are from Target. It's pretty basic. It just has the days of the week on here. I have all of my meals planned out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, the first thing I like to do is kind of go through my grocery list that I almost always have, and I star the items that I absolutely need to buy that I may be missing. So my grocery list is pretty simple. I've got fruits on here, apples, strawberries, all of Jace's favorite items, just pretty generic things that I can utilize in a ton of different dishes. So spaghetti, tortillas, onion, because God forbid I forget onion again like I did last week. My dairy products, milk, cheese, snacks for Jace, just things that I always use that kind of keep me on track. Canned items, so veggie broth, pasta sauce. It's very easy to kind of overwhelm yourself. So I find keeping a generic grocery list is the best way to keep me from feeling like I'm overwhelmed. And to keep from wasting items, because I did feel like we were wasting a lot, I would go to the grocery store, not have a plan, and then everything would just kind of sit. So I take an inventory of my kitchen. So these are all the items that I have in my inventory, and on the opposite side, I have all of the things that I need. And cows is kind of a funny inside joke for our house. That's what Jace calls his mini muffins. It's just what he's called them since he was little. So now we get kind of down to the nitty gritty. So I like to try to keep the same breakfast for a couple days out of the week so I can prep them in advance. So for Sunday, I have breakfast tacos. Chris loves breakfast tacos. They remind us of back home, of course. So I make those in the mornings. For lunch, we have grilled cheese, tomato soup. Dinner, chicken legs, potatoes, and green beans. And chicken legs can be bought in bulk, so I like to make a huge amount so we can utilize, you guessed it, leftovers. Leftovers are really great, especially if you have your kids home during the day, or you need to send your husband off to lunch. My husband does not have time to get lunch, so I send him with leftovers. Breakfast on Monday, we have overnight oats. That's another item that's really, really easy to make. Dinner, we have turkey meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Tuesday, again, we have our overnight oats, and I actually do have a video where I show a recipe for my overnight oats, so I'll link that down below. Lunch, we have brunch lunch, which is a egg scramble that Jason and I really, really like. And then for dinner, we have picadillo. Wednesday, again, we have our leftovers and our overnight oats for breakfast, and we have turkey spaghetti. Now, if you notice, a lot of these recipes are recipes that can be made in bulk. So that is kind of the key for me in my household, and making sure that we have a good amount of food during the day, especially now that I'm home for the summer. So Thursday, another repeat, breakfast tacos and leftovers for lunch. There are a couple of meals a week that I make that do not serve as leftovers. So lemon pepper, tilapia, and green beans. I don't like leftover fish. I've hated it since I was bodybuilding, so I'm not gonna do it now. So again, on Friday, I have breakfast tacos. That is the day that my husband is home. So we kind of just kick back on Fridays. We have potato soup for lunch and pizza night. My husband and my son could live off pizza for the rest of their life. I think it's really important to implement a fun night for dinner with your family, just so it kind of takes a load off of you and takes a load off of them. So on Saturdays, I always make a big breakfast. This Saturday, I'll be making French toast. We like to go to state parks and things on the weekends, so I'll make cold cut sandwiches and pack some fruit. And then I'll have chicken taco soup, and then everything just kind of repeats itself. Now, I do like to add notes on here, so extra snacks for Jace, Lola's food because her food is kind of expensive, and sometimes we have to go to special places to buy it. And we also like to let Jace pick out his snacks sometimes because it's just kind of fun. And then I have a probiotic note on here because the one that I've been using, I'm not a huge fan of. And if you guys would like a video on the different supplements and vitamins I use, I will definitely do that for you. And of course, I can't forget coffee because coffee is life. And I do have an upcoming video of my coffee bar and how I have it set up. So that is it for how I plan out my meals. And if you guys would like to see any of these recipes or like to see me make any of these recipes, please let me know because your girl loves to cook and your girl loves to share. I hope this was helpful to y'all and it kind of gave you an idea of how you can plan out your meals and make your life easier in your household. Thank you all so much for the continued love and support, and I see you in my next video. Bye.